This is the brand new Deity D4 shotgun microphone, and it has a price tag of $50. Sounds great, has a built-in splitter for using two microphones at once with your camera, and in this video I'll share why it has dethroned the famous Rode VideoMicro as my #1 recommended budget mic. I have been using several of these Rode VideoMicros for over 5 years, and I really do like these things. But after recently purchasing the Deity D4 Mini and comparing it with the Rode VideoMicro, I think it may be time to say goodbye to my little gold dotted friend. Let's kick this review / comparison off by talking about the similarities when it comes to the design of these two different microphones, and then we'll get into sound quality tests, and I'll cover several reasons why this microphone is better in my opinion, but there's one reason you still might want to consider the Rode VideoMicro. So when you look at these microphones, you'll notice right away that they are almost identical. The size is about the same, with the Deity being slightly skinnier. They both have a super compact little Rycote mount, and both come with a 3.5mm coiled cable. That said, Deity also includes a special TRRS cable for use with smartphones, and it is yellow instead of red. The biggest difference physically between these two microphones is going to be the addition of a jack on the Deity D4 Mini. Not only do we have an output jack, but there is also an input jack, and we'll talk about how incredible that is as a tool a little bit later on in the video. So clearly these microphones are almost identical with exception to that input and output feature on the Deity. What about sound quality? Well, I'm going to take both of these microphones, mount them where my Sennheiser 416 is currently mounted, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison. Then we'll also throw both of these microphones on my camera and do a very short vlogging test. So right now I have both microphones mounted above me where I would normally have my shotgun microphone just out of frame, and we're going to go back and forth cutting between the two microphones so you can hear the differences when it comes to dialogue in a pretty treated space. My name is Caleb Pike, and this is an audio test. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3 4. My name is Caleb Pike, and this is an audio test. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3 4. So now we're going to do a quick vlogging audio test. I have both microphones connected to my Sony a7S III. They're in the same position, so I'll grab it here and we'll see what it sounds like at arm's length. We're actually a little further than arm's length because I'm using the switch pod, which is amazing and everyone should check out. So now you're listening to the microphones. I'm going to be switching back and forth, and I'll also repeat the same line, and we'll hear the exact same thing twice, one on each microphone. So my name is Caleb Pike, and this is an audio test. My name is Caleb Pike, and this is an audio test. So what do I think of those audio recordings? Well, I have to hand it to the Rode. I do think it sounds better. It has a little more full sound. There's a lot more going on the low end. It just sounds a little more deep than the Deity D4. Meanwhile, the Deity had more of a flat response or kind of overall neutral sound. Unfortunately for the Rode VideoMicro, that's where the good news ends. From here on out, it's all points for the Deity, and I'm going to get into that now, starting with sound level. Throughout my testing, I noticed that the Deity was significantly louder than the Rode VideoMicro. And overall, I've noticed just in general, Deity's microphones are just more sensitive, or they're louder than Rode and other manufacturers. One of the reasons could be that this is a supercardioid microphone, whereas this one is a cardioid microphone, meaning that this one is going to have a little more punch or reach or sensitivity at the front with a tiny tail at the back, meaning it might pick up a little more behind the microphone, whereas the Rode is designed to only pick up sound from the front, but that pickup pattern is a little wider compared to the Deity. Even with that said, I didn't really notice much of a rejection difference between these two microphones. They both picked up around the same amount of sound from the front and the sides and the rear, so not a huge difference there. But going back to audio levels, since this microphone, the Deity D4, is much louder than the Rode VideoMicro, that means noise is going to be reduced. So here's a room tone test with both of these microphones, and I had to raise the micro up about 5 dB to match the levels that I needed to get for my voice with both of these microphones. So as you can hear, the Rode VideoMicro is going to be noisier because it's a quieter microphone. We have to turn that puppy up to get the level we need. This means that pretty much overall, you're going to get cleaner sound on the Deity compared to the Micro. There's a feature that is invisible to the eye that the D4 has that the Rode does not, and I have felt this so many times in the past, and that is RF shielding. So this microphone can be used with things like the Rode Wireless Go, and you're not going to get any strange artifacts. Here's a test with the Rode Wireless Go connected to the Rode VideoMicro. And here's a test with the same Rode Wireless Go connected to the Deity D4.
Check, check.
This opens the door to so many cool little wireless setups using these two devices, the Rode Wireless Go, ironically from Rode, and the Deity D4, and we're going to get into those setups now because we're going to talk about this little input jack on the D4. In short, when you connect this microphone to your camera and have nothing else attached, it acts just like your typical video mic. But if you connect a microphone or another signal to that input, the D4 will split both of those channels and record them separately in your camera. This opens you up to so many different cool setups. You could have a wire lav going into the D4, be able to record its internal shotgun as well as that lav mic. You could connect a Rode Wireless Go receiver to that input, plug it into your camera, and now you have a wireless microphone and an on-camera microphone with both of those audio channels separated in camera. When you pull your camera's footage into your editor, you're able to independently change levels or just completely mute one channel or the other. And finally, because this thing has RF shielding, you can take a Rode Wireless Go transmitter and simply clip it to the actual microphone, plug it in, and now you have a super tiny, adorable little wireless microphone that you could put on the end of a boom pole or do really anything else with. And then finally, we have the price of just $50 for a microphone, a windscreen for outdoor use, which works great, as well as another cable if you need to connect it to a smartphone or tablet. This means at the end of the day, for $10 less, you get a microphone that has RF shielding, is louder with less noise than the Rode VideoMicro, and you have the ability to connect other microphones to it and get dual channel recordings in your camera. So at the end of the day, I think this is a winner of a microphone. I'm so glad I spent $50 for it and tried it out. Meanwhile, this little guy, the Rode VideoMicro, is still a better sounding microphone in my opinion, but it's going to be quieter with RF issues. It doesn't have that input and output feature. And finally, it's going to be a little noisier than the Deity D4. So that's going to do it for this review. Subscribe if you want to see more videos about making videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.